Wednesday, February 12th, 2020. I'm Yaela V, and these are the Cryptosphere's top stories for today. Bitcoin rallies to a new 2020 high, but even its growth is eclipsed by major altcoins. Fed Chair Jerome Powell changes his tune on a digital dollar. And Andrew Yang, crypto's champion in the Democratic presidential race, withdraws his candidacy after the New Hampshire primary. Bitcoin saw an impressive surge on the day, climbing $400 in minutes to break new 2020 highs. Bitcoin is currently trading in the $10,300 area, equaling 5 months highs, and up $3,000 since the start of the year. That said, Bitcoin is a slouch compared to some of the leading altcoins, with its dominance of the total market cap seeing continuous decline. For more on the state of the market, I am joined by none other than senior correspondent Asher Westrop Evans. And Asher, what are the leading theories on the increase in the price?
Look, I mean, there's so much to say as we head towards the halving in May, that is such a catalyst for driving sentiment, but also in general, there is such strength and enthusiasm that's returned to the market. And we can really see that in the fact that it's not just Bitcoin leading, but so many of the altcoins that are coming out. We've seen Tezos has 70% climbs on the week. Hedera Hashgraph, which just announced a partnership with Google, up 115% on the week. And so many other alts that are just seeing massive climbs as money that has been on the sidelines now enters the market. Furthermore, there is another bullish sign ready to come into the market, but rather than me explain it, I'll turn to Bobby Ong from CoinGecko, who had this to say earlier.
I think we'll be, if the golden cross happens to cross, which we expect to cross in this week or so, I think we'll be entering a very bullish period up to May 2020 or so during the halving. So I'm certainly bullish. There may be a few correction. I think Bitcoin's up for a slight correction. If you look at the RSI indicator, it's appearing to be slightly overbought. But that's in the short-term period. I think up to May, I think we'll be in a generally upward trajectory for Bitcoin and all the other altcoins.
The chairman of the United States Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, addressed the House Financial Service Committee on Tuesday and delivered some interesting remarks on the bank's position when it comes to the digital dollar. The Fed head, who in the past was completely dismissive on the prospects of the U.S. rolling out its own CBDC, seems to have recognized the urgency. Here's what he said when asked about it by Representative Bill Foster of Illinois, both addressing the need and then hedging on it at the same time in good political fashion.
Every major central bank is currently taking a deep look at that we feel like that's our obligation. Technology has now made this possible. Private sector's innovating, they're doing it. So I think it's very much incumbent on us and other central banks to understand the costs and benefits and trade-offs associated with a possible digital currency. Frankly, Libra really lit a fire under that, and it was a bit of a wake-up call that this is coming fast and could come in a way that is that is quite widespread and systemically important fairly quickly if you use one of these big tech networks like Libra did. So we're working hard on it. We fully appreciate the importance of making quick progress. We have not decided to do this, though. It is not. I think that there are many questions that need to be answered around a digital currency for the United States, including issues of cyber issues, privacy issues, many operational alternatives present themselves. And so we're going to be working through all that and doing that work thoroughly and responsibly.
The New Hampshire Democratic primary race has been decided. Bernie Sanders has taken the lead, with Pete Buttigieg closely behind, and other contenders who were vying for the nomination have begun to drop out. Amongst them, crypto supporter and Sphere favorite Andrew Yang, who wrapped his campaign late yesterday. Ron Spitzer has the story of how this came down.
You know, I am the math guy, and it is clear tonight from the numbers that we are not going to win this race.
Democratic presidential hopeful Andrew Yang has withdrawn from the election following the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday. Known as the crypto candidate to those in the space, Yang believed that the underlying technology of cryptocurrencies is very, very high potential, and we should be investing in it. He further stated that right now we're stuck with this hodgepodge of state-by-state treatments, and it's bad for everybody. It's bad for innovators who want to invest in the space, which is why he proposed policy positions around crypto and broader technology spaces. His campaign gained huge support on social media, with many crypto proponents joining his #YangGang. This support, however, was not enough at the Iowa caucus, where he received only 1% of the vote, or in New Hampshire, where he got 2.9% of the vote, according to the New York Times.
I have been persuaded that the message of this campaign will not be strengthened by my staying in this race any longer. Endings are hard, New Hampshire, but this is not an ending. This is a beginning.
Yang started laying off campaign staff following the Iowa caucus before formally ending his bid on Tuesday night.
Ron Spitzer joins us now in studio. So, of course, the Sphere reacted, and how?
So, people reacted on social media.
Right.
The Sphere is kind of silent on this level, maybe because of the potential, political affiliations that we know that the Sphere generally likes to kind of distance itself from. But when you think of hope, usually you think of Obama. In this case, Andrew Yang is really taking over that because everybody seems to think that this guy is going to go for it in 2024 and he's going to win. So let's take a look. This first one by Mick on Twitter, who tweeted, #Yang Gang, we have 4 years to strategize, organize, and build our base. #Yang 2024. Host of the podcast Gang Related, Kai Watson, also wrote, the movement has begun. We go on. #Yang Gang. Thank you, Andrew Yang. This goes on. So this other Twitter user here, wanted to be the math guy himself, wrote, some math. Andrew Yang is 44 years old. Bernie is 78 years old. Thus, Yang has between 4 to 8 more presidential elections to come. Get your rest. #Yang Gang. This is only the beginning. And then, if that wasn't enough, we have already a page to speak to this. The new page is called #Yang Gang 2024. So, are we done yet, or do we have to just wait 4 more years?
Probably not, and I think that's one way of going out. Yang goes out with a bang rather than a whimper.
There you go.
Ka-ching. Ron Spitzer, thank you for this report. Brooklyn-based startup Consensus of Joe Lubin fame made waves yesterday when news broke that it is in talks with JP Morgan Chase & Co. to merge the bank's marquee blockchain unit Quorum with the software technology company. Now, as per Reuters, who broke the news, the deal is yet to be formalized, but sources close to the matter believe it will be announced within the next 6 months. The news comes on the heels of Consensus announcing a downsizing in operations last week that cut about 14% of its workforce. Around 25 people currently work on the Quorum JP Morgan team globally. It's unclear whether they will join Consensus after the merger. The largest U.S. bank by assets has also said it would use Quorum to issue a digital currency called JP Morgan Coin that is designed to make instantaneous payments using blockchain. That, of course, is a far cry from the tune the bank and Jamie Dimon sang just 2 years ago. That said, the cryptosphere had its own opinion on the possible merge.
I think it's pretty cool. It continues the trend that we're going to see. I think the decentralized fan club is never going to like most of these ideas, but the reality is for a lot of this stuff to scale to first scale, in terms of financial services, we're going to see a lot of partnerships between the historical financial industry and projects in the blockchain and crypto space.
JP Morgan has been talking about spinning out Quorum since May of 2019. So while it's functional, it's out there, it's being used by more than 350 banks. I still don't think that it's had the impact that JP Morgan thought that it would have. And at the same time, you have Consensus, which is, just announced the paring back of staff. So they're trying to obviously to conserve their cash a little bit. And so it's actually a marriage that makes a lot of sense. Quorum has been running on the Ethereum blockchain since 2016. JP Morgan Quorum was part of the original Enterprise Ethereum Alliance in February of 2017.
Plus Token, the Chinese multi-billion-dollar scam, is moving their holdings of Bitcoin once again. In 2019, when the price of Bitcoin dropped to the $6,000 mark, some analysts blamed the fall on the dumping of funds by the fraud. Crime reporter, Yona Hochhauser has the details on the Ponzi scheme that has such a big impact on the market, and here's a reminder about how it all played out.
It's called Plus Token, and it got away with $3 billion. The premise was similar to other Ponzi's. Invest in me and my product, and I promise you high returns, this time in the form of a token called the Plus Coin. It drew in a reported 3 million users, mainly in Asia. On June 27th, 6 members of the Plus Token scam were arrested in Vanuatu, but that didn't stop the movement of the stolen Bitcoin, over 200,000 Bitcoin at that. The scammers employed what is called a Bitcoin mixer, where one's Bitcoin is mixed with other people's Bitcoin. The mistake the scammers made was trying to mix too much Bitcoin at once. These large inputted amounts all can be traced back to the scammer's address. The Plus token scammers mixed over 54,000 Bitcoin in just a 2-month period.
Crime reporter Yona Hochhauser joins us in studio. Yona, what's the latest on this?
Right. So the latest is that since they were moving all those coins, earlier in the year, already last year, they were kind of quiet, and now they finally just moved 12,000 Bitcoin. That's right now $124 million worth of Bitcoin. They moved it from a big account and they broke it up into a bunch of smaller sums into cold storage wallets. Now, why is this interesting? Why is this important if they still hold the funds? Because the last time they did this movement, the last time they went from a big amount breaking up to smaller wallets was when they decided to sell it off. And when was the last time they decided to sell it off? Was June of last year when Bitcoin was at its height of $13,600. So a lot of people are saying, oh, everyone get ready. The Bitcoin's at another high right now. They're about to offload this Bitcoin and that's going to drive the market down. So far, the market has not reacted, but who knows? If Plus Token actually decides to offload all this Bitcoin on the market, it could have bad effects.
It could have an effect on that. Thank you so much for this report, Yona Hochhauser. Time for troll of the day. And today, Zachy Hennessy is here to troll an adorable, defenseless, poor little puppet.
That's right, Yael. So blockchain lending company Figure has released an ad featuring a great new puppet mascot. This is him. Now listen, I love puppets. I have Muppets posters. A significant portion of my brain's gray matter is devoted to Dark Crystal names and lore. I even had a brief stint in high school where I made my own puppets. As such, I am infinitely in support of this new puppet mascot, and I hope it becomes adopted by the entire industry. My only problem, though, is with the name. They called it Blockchain. It's a puppet. It deserves a better name than that. So I prepared a list of 10 names for a puppet, blockchain puppet rather, that are better than Blockchain. So they are Blocky, Chainster, Brock Chain, Block James, Tim Mutable, Decentral Ivan, Trustless Charles, Led Gerald, Glorified X Elton Spreadsheet, and Bumpo.
Bumpo.
Bumpo. It's a Muppety kind. It's a puppet. Whatever. So Figure, if you'd like to get in touch with me about fixing up your branding for this wonderful new creation, my DMs are open at the Sonic Wombat. Look me up on the Twitter.
First of all, yes, but Zachy, how old are you in that picture with the
Shucks.
puppets?
I must have been 15.
You're 15.
Yeah, that's
with
me
your
at 15 with all of my friends.
I think we've just explained everything we ever wanted to know about you. Thank you, Zachy Hennessy. That was Around the Block for today. Thank you for watching. For more blockchain tech and cryptocurrency news, visit us at blocktv.com.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.